Hi guys, Modern Muppet here. How you doing? Yes, Alfie's back. Come on, darling, please settle down. Anyway, got something a bit different today. I've got bits of grass in him. We were just out for a walk before. Right, I'm going to start again. Hi guys, Modern Muppet here. How you doing? Got something a bit different today. I had an extensive conversation with one of my YouTube buddies, Janzer. And it was way too long for a gameplay video. It was about 30 minutes long or something. And I thought what I'd try doing is just putting the voice conversation up. This is something Janzer's done on his own channel as well. But I thought, yeah, I'll just put the conversation up so you can sort of have it playing and then go and do some web browsing and stuff. Just kind of like listen to it. So treat it more like a podcast. I would do podcasts if I had the slightest idea what a podcast was and how to do one, but I don't. So yeah, treat it kind of like, like a podcast or a radio show, something like that. Just a bit of conversation. The subject is, are we expecting too much out of games? And just before we do, I've also done a little kind of a animated cartoon clip from a bit of the discussion that I was going to cut out, but like how something sometimes just grabs you and makes you laugh, and you've got absolutely no idea why. And this did. I don't know, I think the timing of it is kind of like something you'd get in Family Guy. Now, I'm not saying that our scripting is like Family Guy, because it wasn't scripted, and it would be awesome to have that kind of talent. But there's just kind of like that kind of feel to it, and it made me laugh loads, and I kept watching it, and the more I watched, the more I laughed, and I couldn't really concentrate on what I was going to do. Anyway, look, I'm going to shut up. I'll be showing that little clip, and then there's the thing. But make sure you do tell me what you think of this as a format. Is it something that you'd be interested in having more of? Or if it's a bit of a fail, that's fine. Tell me it's a bit of a fail and I won't ever do it again. So fuck you. Alright guys, peace.
Alright.
So, agenda. Do we have one?
Yeah.
Alright, sounds good.
Yeah, I'm just going to kind of go with it.
That's not an agenda. That's my way of doing things.
Hi guys, Modern Muppet here. How are you doing today? I'm joined by Janzer 24/7. When was the last time that you bought a game that met your expectations or hopes of that game?
But also based off of the amount of, I guess, hype that it's been given.
Yeah.
Because you could find an indie game that I expected it to be Pac-Man and it's Pac-Man. But, if it's given a lot of hype, like let's say Watch Dogs, for example,
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's kind of a two-part thing.
Yeah, all right. So we're going to exclude shitty little Pac-Man type games from this equation.
Damn it,
right?
that's all I have reference for. All right, well.
So we are going to be looking at, if not AAA rated titles, like titles along that kind of line. So in these, full priced or near enough full priced titles. So there's my first question to you viewers. Have a mull over that while you're listening to our incredibly intelligent analysis of the situation.
Absolutely.
And be ready to put down in the comments, whether you did buy a game and it met up to what you thought it was going to be. So we'll have a look at Watch Dogs first. Now, I didn't actually buy Watch Dogs.
Yeah, me either. Not a big surprise for me, though. I don't tend to buy things when they first come out, unless I pre-order them and then never play them.
I was actually looking forward to Watch Dogs.
Really?
Yeah. And I didn't buy it. I'm becoming very militant in my old age, very unlikely to fall for the hype. As we were discussing before about, I've cancelled my pre-order for Destiny. And I'm pleased that I didn't buy Watch Dogs.
Yeah.
Now, I'm curious. I did have a few mates who were playing it. And, some of them would say, oh, you should get it. It's a really good game. But they're not playing it now. They didn't play it very long. I think they kind of played it, finished the main story, but probably didn't finish all the side stuff. And kind
so
of
how
got
do you
bored
take that?
with it.
Were they just trying to drag you in? Just like, hey, I fucked up, so why don't you come and, waste your money and you can't laugh at me?
No, I don't. I think that thing does happen, but on a very subconscious level. In our previous discussion, I did mention something called post-decisional rationalization. Which I don't know if you're familiar with that.
Did you say that in our previous discussion? Really? I think I was zoned out. Okay. It sounds like the first time I've heard it. It sounds great. I like the idea.
Oh, look,
Okay.
I meant to say
Yeah.
it. I think I said it. But are you familiar with it?
Post-decision rationalization. Yeah, it makes sense to me logically.
Yeah, it's basically we take a decision on something, and afterwards we kind of rationalize that decision to ourselves because basically our egos don't
Right,
like
right,
it when
right.
we're wrong.
I know exactly what you're saying, and I say it a different way in a I guess it's a little bit more uncouth. Basically, you're never going to say that what you spent a lot of money on is bad, because that makes you look like you're dumb.
Yeah. There's kind of two ways to
Yeah,
react. One is to get really mad and say, I got burned, I got lied
right,
to. And the other is to sort of say, well, I got this. I decided to do this.
right.
I can't be wrong.
Yeah.
Therefore, this was a good choice. And I think this is a massive factor in fanboy wars, over consoles or,
True.
other stuff like that. Is people can't actually sort of say to themselves, I bought the wrong machine. I fucked up. It's a lot easier to say, well, no, I was right, you fucked up. So I don't think people would deliberately sort of say to themselves, look, this game is a load of shit, so I'm going to see if I can persuade other people to buy it so I don't feel as bad. But
Well,
I
I don't
think on
know.
a subconscious level, that people are sort of convincing themselves that this game did meet their expectations, that that it is a good game, that they should give it a chance and you should buy it. But then a few weeks later, that kind of self-defense mechanism is worn off and then they're no longer playing it, no longer thinking about it. So I don't think anyone would deliberately draw me into that. But I think it's fair to say that for the overwhelming majority of people, Watch Dogs failed to live up to the expectations that have been delivered.
Right, right. Yeah, I think so. I think everyone can probably say that.
But but when you asked me that question, I started thinking about some of the big games that I had been hyped
Right.
for or looking forward to, and I started thinking, did any
Flappy
of them?
Bird, for example.
Sorry.
Flappy Bird, for example.
Yeah, Flappy Bird. Look, fuck you. If all you're gonna bring to this video is Flappy Bird and fucking Pac-Man, you can fuck off, right?
Hey, these are base human responses to these kinds of games that come up, So, and they're simple games. And I mean, look at Pac-Man. How much money did that bring in? Raked it in.
Do you actually play those type of games?
Hell no.
Well, why are we even talking about them?
Hey, Pac-Man's gonna be. I think he's gonna be in like the next Smash Brothers game or something
Yeah,
like
but
that.
right? You don't play them. I
Well,
don't play them. Right? Why the fuck are we talking?
This is not my channel. I'm destroying. I mean, helping you right now. We're just talking about games that satisfy you.
Right. Okay. And oh my god. So thanks for watching, everyone. This is Muppet saying bye.
That actually probably sums it up. I think we're done.
Right, but look, I'm gonna have a look at some of the big hitters that I bought over the last couple of years. Right.
All right.
Like Grand Theft Auto. Now, I think the single player of Grand Theft Auto was a phenomenal game. I think the story was fantastically well done. I think the scenery, the whole world that they created, and all the different things you could do in that world was really, really, really well done. But
Now let's clarify. GTA 5.
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry,
Just
did I
making
not?
sure.
Did I not say that?
You might have. I just heard Grand Theft Auto.
Right, and you're thinking, how can I bring this back round to Flappy Birds, Grand Theft Flappy Birds? Or something?
I didn't know if you were talking about the entire series.
Right. Anyway, yeah. So I'm talking about Grand Theft Auto 5, which
Okay.
that was the big one, really.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And I think that let's say the single player experience delivered possibly everything that could be delivered in a single player game.
I heard a lot of good things about it.
And like, for example, if we have a look at the open world of Destiny and compare it to the open world of GTA, oh man, it's like what? GTA has so much in it; it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
The game is jam packed with different environments, different sort of weather systems, a whole day and night cycle.
When people are talking about how well textured a trash bag is in GTA 5,
Yeah.
I mean, come on. I heard that so many times. I was like, they took a lot of care.
Yeah.
In that game, they took a lot of care.
Yeah, but I don't think that the GTA Online delivered.
Mm-hmm.
It was fun for a while, but there was a few things that were wrong with it. And it also actually brings me back to some of the things that were wrong with Warframe. One of the things that was wrong with it was they decided to sell in-game money for real-world money,
Yeah.
and then base the game's in-game economy to try and make it so that people needed more in-game money in the hope that people would buy it. And it was a terrible, terrible decision. It was
Can't you buy money in game for GTA 5 with real world money?
You can,
Doesn't
yeah.
that exist?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what they did, and
Uh-huh.
it was a terrible decision.
Yeah.
Absolutely a terrible decision. And there was a few other things that kind of went wrong with it. But it seemed that a lot of it was based around let's get people to buy some in-game money.
Yeah.
The rewards that you got for doing missions barely met the cost of the ammunition that you needed to do the missions.
Yeah.
You know, the cost of like vehicles and apartments and all this sort of stuff was inflatedly high. It almost seems like a deliberate move to try and get people to buy money.
That's
Now,
that's shitty because there was some really creative gameplay I remember you put out. Not like I'm trying to push your videos or anything, but I watch a lot of your stuff anyways. But I remember you doing some GTA 5 stuff and just some creative bullshit that you guys were, going around just
yeah,
doing crap, just screwing around. And
Yeah.
it's like, okay, we're going to have fun, but I'm not going to fire this weapon because it's going to cost this much money. That's a shitty way to restrict a person playing a game.
Yeah. So I don't want to go in mass loads of detail. But what I'm saying is that the online experience it didn't meet my expectations, and I wasn't alone in that.
Yeah.
So other games now, Assassin's Creed 3. I'm going back a couple of years here now, but Assassin's Creed 3 had some beautiful, phenomenal trailers to it, and it looked like it was taking the whole Assassin's Creed series to a whole new level.
Yeah.
And the gameplay didn't match up to what the trailers promised.
Well.
Now, when I went back to Assassin's Creed 3 several months later, like about 6 months later, I actually really enjoyed it. I thought it was a good game. But it didn't meet up to my expectations of it when I bought it.
But can't you say that that's kind of the viewer? Shouldn't the viewer be expecting that? Game trailers are never going to, your gameplay's never going to live up to the game trailer. We kind of know that.
Well, this is why I thought it was such an interesting question for you to ask, because it actually made me question myself.
Oh, shit.
And
oh, God.
Yeah, and think, is it me? Have my expectations been made too unrealistic because I'm too gullible and swallow the hype?
I buy into stuff too. I get excited about things too. I get cynical about, let's say, Warframe, but I got excited about the ship that I got in there. At first, I was like, hey, that might be kind of cool. And now, while I'm in it, even with the tight camera angle and whatever, I'm still like, this feels fucking cool. I'm in my own ship around a planet. It's cool.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, we're passionate gamers. We're excited about we get excited about the games. It's kind of like when your wife says, like, I've bought this new sexy latex nuns outfit.
I'm interested.
And you think yes, fantastic, and then you find out that it just makes loads of sweat and it doesn't sort of actually match up to your expectations. Yeah, and I just realised that I've got my window open and my neighbours can probably hear me while I'm having this discussion. So. But can you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like is it ourselves that are setting the expectations too high? Should we automatically see a video and not think, well, they're just setting the hype up, but they're actually lying to us about what we're going to get? And this has been done. Gearbox famously did it with Aliens, Colonials.
Oh,
Marines.
Jesus Christ! If that isn't the biggest, I was going to bring that up before. Yes, definitely. Yeah. I think I was going to bring it up because we were also talking about how reviews cannot precede a game release.
Yeah.
Which totally worked out for Colonial Marines because they could mask everything that was. They could control the hype.
It was actually really successful.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, it worked out really well. But short-term gain, short-term gain versus long play, know.
And one of the things that we discussed earlier was trust, between a consumer and the producer. And I certainly lost trust.
Yeah, who's going to wear the latex outfit?
Wait, I've certainly lost trust in Gearbox.
Oh, really?
Hell yeah. they've done it to me once, and it's like, like they say, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, I'm gonna kick your fucking teeth in.
Gearbox with what game?
Aliens Colonial Marines.
Oh God, they produced that?
Yeah, you didn't know?
No.
Yeah.
I thought maybe they were a distributor or something.
No, they
Gearbox produced that?
It had a really shoddy history that basically Gearbox got paid a lot of money off Sega to produce it.
Jeez, man.
And they then farmed it out to this very sort of young development company.
I see.
Did fuck all for it, but kept their name highlighted.
It's still their
everywhere.
responsibility.
And Andy Pritchard and other Gearbox personalities were talking about how excited they were to be working on it and developing it and all this sort of stuff, And they actually released footage that was not in the final game. And this footage was still, we're not talking about 6 months ahead where things had to be changed. I actually checked this because I went and bought it. And when I played it for about half an hour, I went and watched the kind of the demo, the adverts again, and this was definitely changed footage. The footage that they were still advertising on the day of release was.
Didn't you return this game?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, I remember watching that vid.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm trying to think what other games. Now, Assassin's Creed 4, because I kind of learnt my lesson a bit because of Assassin's Creed 3. My expectations weren't quite as high.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed the game.
Yeah.
From the get-go.
I enjoyed the game from you playing the game. I remember watching so many of your damn videos and just like, oh my God, I have to buy this game. I have to buy it.
Yeah, and you bought it and you've hardly played it.
I've played some of it, but when I play that game, like I'm still in the first town. I can't remember what it's called. Somewhere in South America, maybe. I don't fucking know. But
it's in the Caribbean, isn't it?
Yeah, maybe. But that first town that you go to, where I don't know what it is. It's the very first city or town.
Yeah.
I'm still there. You know what I do when I play the game? I go in to play that game and I relax.
Yes.
I just run around. I chase down the little sea shanties, whatever.
Yes. Yeah.
And pretty much that's it. I don't actually try to progress the game at all.
Right. Well,
I am perfectly fine in that town, just wandering around, looking at the visuals, running around on everything. I'm sure at some point I'll get tired of that, and then I'll head out to this.
Far be it from me to be so bold as to suggest this, but do at least get to the point where you get your ship. And and you can take to the high seas and start.
You won't hear from me for days, for weeks.
I have spent.
I'm just going to be out sailing.
I have spent hours and hours and hours just playing it, and like on my videos that I've done for Assassin's Creed, some of the frequent comments are, "How do you get so much money?" And I just say, "Well, just playing the game. I just go and pirate ships, and that's it. I didn't do anything at all to try and build up this vast fortune. I was just playing the game. I wasn't even keeping track of money. I just enjoyed going and battling with the other ships. It's so engaging, But Second Son was kind of it was a good game and it was okay, but it didn't meet expectations.
Second Son. What was the title of the franchise?
Infamous 2.
There you go.
Sorry, Infamous. It wasn't Infamous 2. It was Infamous Second Son. That was the full title. It was a good game. It had some really good points to it, but
I don't think it had the level of hype that something like GTA 5 or Watch Dogs had.
To a degree, it did, because it was one of the first ones.
It was wrapped up in the launch title series, right?
Yeah, it didn't actually come out at launch of the PS4, but it wasn't far behind it. And actually, talking about that, like these are the games that I've bought and regretted. Killzone. I got Killzone when I got my PS4. Hardly played it. Bores the fuck out of me.
Yeah, I don't even know what that's about, to tell you the truth. Killzone.
Neither do I.
It's a generic sounding name.
Yeah, there's some kind of war. It's in the future.
Okay, all right. I think I remember. It was supposed to be like, look at the amazing graphics on this, and
but
other than that, that's pretty much it.
The multiplayer graphics were just, I don't know if it's the field of view or something, but it just felt clunky and horrible. Battlefield 4. Now, I am not the only person who's been disappointed by Battlefield 4. There's been a huge saga about that.
Right.
I've been a big fan of Battlefield since the beginning. You know, I've played since Battlefield 1942 came out, which didn't come out in 1942 before any
Yeah,
cheeky
I might
fuckers.
actually have that disc around here somewhere.
It was a brilliant game.
Yeah,
It was
it was.
extremely innovative.
Yep.
I think it was the first game of its type where you could have a mix of, first-person shooter and all these fantastic vehicles. Like you
Yes.
could jump in any tanks and jeeps and all this sort of stuff. I don't think anything had really done anything like it on that kind of scale before.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's true.
and
It
so,
was,
yeah,
it was a good game.
I really loved that. And Battlefield Vietnam, I really loved that. So Battlefield 2, yeah, Battlefield 2 I used to play a lot of.
Hmm.
But I don't know, the series is just like, yeah, same old with some new models sometimes and some new mechanics,
Yeah.
but nothing
Yeah.
that.
Well, we come to expect that, I think. Their yearly release, give them my paycheck.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, Now, who's the one that does, and this shows how much I play shooters now. Who does the Call of Duty series? Who's, like, what's the main, is that the main series? And then they have zombies off of that?
Yeah, well, it's Activision that publish it, or is it
Now,
Activ? No, is it Activision that publish it, or are they the developers? I get mixed up.
no, that's the thing.
And I,
Underneath, they have multiple teams of developers, so that's
yeah,
why you see stuff like the Zombies series that comes out versus the like Aliens series that comes out for that.
yeah. There's Infinity Ward do
There you go. Yeah,
do
that's
do
one of them.
publish like develop one of them. I think they basically have two studios
Yeah,
that.
exactly. So at
So,
least they're rotating out,
yeah,
so you
so
get the
they basically
difference.
they'll have a 2 year development time, but still have a yearly release, which is
Yeah,
fine. I'm not a Call of Duty fan. I
yeah,
used to be many years ago, but if people still enjoy it,
yeah,
great, that's fine to them. But I would never buy a Call of Duty game and feel let down because I know what Call of Duty is, and
right,
everyone knows what it is, and you either really like it or you really don't. It's not a. I don't think they promise more than they deliver
right.
because all they're promising is a new Call of Duty game.
Yeah, new content, new enemies, whatever, but pretty much the same gameplay.
Yeah,
Nothing wrong with that. People like it. I really see nothing wrong
absolutely,
with that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I've never been into any of these. In fact, this is drifting off a little bit, but
A
I've,
little?
I've never been able to understand why somebody gets so irate or upset because somebody else likes a different series than them.
Yeah, well,
And
I,
is this tied into that post-decisional rationalization thing where they have to be right? Do you know what I mean?
I I don't, it goes into other things that I could talk about, but I don't know that we should bother. You're gonna have to chop this video up anyways. We're running like at 20 minutes over.
We're
So,
not. Are
yeah,
we?
yeah. I got about 20 minutes on the clock here.
Wow. Okay. Right. Um,
But if you want to consolidate it down, I know your stuff's usually a lot shorter than mine.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So anyway, here's the question, guys. I'm gonna put it directly to Janzer in a minute. If we get caught up in the hype of a game, and that game then fails to live up to our hyped expectations, do we, as the consumer, bear some of the responsibility for that? What do you say, Janzer?
Let's see. I got to think about something that I was recently really hyped about. Actually, my first inclination is yes, because that is our own doing. If I feel that Pac-Man Revolution is going to be amazing, but there's nothing that really says that, I just kind of have a feeling about it, and then I get it, and it doesn't live up to whatever idea. It's like going on dates, It's
Mm-hmm.
like going on dates, and you just, wow, this woman's going to be amazing, whatever, or this dude, I don't know, however people handle that in your channel, but um, it just your expectation in your mind versus what you actually see, and it's like, oh, okay, well, that was actually really shitty experience-wise. Why did I bother spending money on this dinner or whatever it was? It was a waste of time.
Well, I
So,
guess if that date was, say, somebody that you met at work and they promised you an amazing time if you went out with them, you'd be kind of quite right to think, yeah, that was fucking shitty.
oh yeah, I mean, if they were talking it up, yeah, definitely. I'd probably ask if I could buy in on the beta, just check it out.
Because here's but here's the thing, right? I don't want to lose my enthusiasm for gaming as a hobby.
I don't think I have. I'll tell you that.
But
And
I don't.
I'm playing a game where I think a lot of people will give it a lot of criticism to. I'm playing Warframe,
Uh-huh.
and I have people ask me, "How do you still have fun with the game?" And I'm like, I don't know how to answer that for you. I know what I do, and I enjoy a lot of the things that I do, but that's a whole nother conversation, you know. Um, I can't. Maybe that's a personal thing, you know, that whole expectation of the game and how you should be playing the game, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
But
yeah.
since you asked me the question though, I'm starting to think to myself, am I actually just becoming this jaded old fuck that is now lost zest for life? You know, is it time to put me out on an ice floe and push me out to sea somewhere? Have I just lost it? You know, because like other people seem to be perfectly happy with Destiny, as an example, and I'm thinking, nah, I've seen this, I've done this too many
Yeah.
times. It's,
Yeah.
it's you know, it's
I agree with most of your points, probably all of them about Destiny. I haven't really played it though. That's the big
yeah,
problem.
yeah,
But I can see where you're coming from, and I back you on that because I look at Bungie and I'm like, how can you guys fucking do this? And I'm being hard on them because they have the experience, they have the resources, they have years worth of data that they can go back on, and you know, it just how can you not take it to the next level when people are expecting that? That's a lot of pressure, but guess what? That's what fucking happens when you're on top.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap this up. Let me know what you think in the comments. Don't forget as well to drop by Janzer's channel and say hi. He's really an awesome guy to watch if you like Warframe. If you like anything else, though, apart from Flappy Birds and Pac-Man, it's probably not worth going over his channel because he covers fuck all nowadays, apart from Warframe. This is Muppet out. Take it easy. Ciao. Say goodbye.
Oh yeah. Goodbye.
Say goodbye properly. I can say goodbye properly.
Oh, okay, fine. Fucking goodbye, you fucks.